Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about what happens when you let them go. Okay? So the main thing that happens when you let someone go, like an ex or someone that's rejected you, a crush that became unreciprocated perhaps, what happens when you let them go and you finally release yourself from them? But the main thing, well, the first thing that you discover really is where you actually stand with that person. Because someone that loves you, that cares about you, that is attracted to you, that does want to be around you, that does want to be with you, if they want to be around you, then they will eventually get in contact with you. They will eventually get in touch with you, right? If they really do have those feelings for you, right? But if not, then you'll just never hear from them again. Right? So that's one of the main things that you learn when you let go of someone. You find out where you truly stand with that person, okay? So the next thing that happens, and I think this is one of the really cool things that happens, is that you now have space in your life now to allow someone new in, right? Because usually if you've got your head in the clouds thinking about this person, you are dwelling on them, you're thinking about them, perhaps you're watching videos about how to get them back and things, you're trying, you've got focusing a lot of your energy on this one person that may have dumped you or rejected you. You don't have really any space in your life and you're not really looking for someone else. Now I remember when I was doing my A-levels, I had a huge crush on someone at that time, a really huge crush on a woman, and I was so obsessed with her that I wasn't even looking for other people, right? And she had rejected me and it hurt, but I was still stuck. I was still stuck thinking, oh, I'm never going to find anyone else. I'm only in love with her. And it wasn't great basically. But I wasn't even looking out for her. Like I was so focused on her that when I would see people, all I would see is her. Like I would see women with the same length of hair as her, the same kind of coat or bag or something like that. But when you finally let go of that person, basically all of that starts to dissolve and disappear. And I didn't think it would ever dissolve and disappear, but it did, right? And when it did, I was then open to looking at other people, finding other women attractive, and things changed. It opened up space in my life when I let her go, so I could find new women to date. Right, so that's another thing that happens when you let go of someone. Finally, you start looking at the opposite sex or the same sex, as the case may be, and you start seeing new opportunities for yourself. So another thing is, this is another thing that happens when you let them go, is you discover that you now have more time on your hands to do the stuff that you like to do. So this is like really especially for those people that were once in a relationship and they got dumped, right? Now you have more time on your hands, because if you were together a lot and you were living together even perhaps, you had a lot of your time was probably consumed by hanging out with them, being with them, doing what they want to do. Maybe sometimes you got to do what you wanted to do, obviously it depended on the relationship, but now you get to do whatever you want to do, right? And you should see that as a good thing, right? Because sometimes we often lose ourselves in our relationships, especially if you're in a relationship that isn't particularly healthy and you have no time to yourself to do what you want to do. But now you have time to do what you want to do. You can stay up for as long as you want to stay up. Obviously, I don't recommend that, but you can do that if you want to. You can have time to yourself to do things that you want to do. Think about your hobbies, things that or projects that you would like to work on. Perhaps there's something that you want to build. Perhaps you have a goal. You can now work on those things if you didn't have room to do that in your previous relationship. Or now you have, at least, even if you did have time to do that in your relationship, now you have even more time to work on those things. So you should see this as an opportunity for you to actually, start doing other stuff, to start focusing on the things that are really important to you. It should be an exciting time, right? And that leads into my next point, and that is you should start to see this as a new adventure for yourself, as a new chapter. You've let them go. You've decided to go in no contact and walk away. You're no longer going to fight for them. And now you have this new chapter, this new adventure on your hands. Obviously, you may need some time to get over it, which is understandable. Some days will be better than others. Some days you're going to feel really sad and miss them. And other days you're going to feel okay. And other days you may feel really good, right? So obviously you got to, take the ups and downs of what, because obviously if you were together for a long time or you had a strong bond with them, a strong and emotional connection with them, and obviously it can take a while. But what's important is that you now have, more time for yourself, and it's a new adventure. You can now work on these other things, these things that are important to you, get back to who you were, going to see your friends and your family, doing things that you want to do. And eventually, once you've had enough time, and I always say to people, give yourself at least 6 months minimum so the emotions become less intense, to find someone new, and then you can find a new relationship and be in a more healthier relationship now, perhaps, hopefully, or find someone else to focus your attention on. And what you'll discover is if you've taken the appropriate amount of time to heal and get over it, you'll now feel a lot less insecure when you go into this new relationship, because you don't want to just have time to yourself and not get over the relationship. You need to figure out basically what went wrong, what you did to partake in whatever happened. So obviously, it might not have been 100% your fault, obviously. In fact, it may have been mostly their fault. But if you look back on the relationship, you probably know and were aware of some things that you did that perhaps you would have done differently if you now had the knowledge that you have now. Right, so now you know that, hey, I'm not going to do that when I'm in my next relationship. Perhaps it was a communication thing. And if you're figuring out how to communicate with the opposite sex, because perhaps you don't know and you don't understand the differences between how feminine people communicate and how masculine people communicate, I highly recommend that you read the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, because that gives you a good description of the different ways that men and women communicate. Because one of the main issues that men and women break up, even if they were in happy, compatible relationships, is because they don't understand how to communicate with each other, right? So I'd highly recommend that you go and do that so you can have a better awareness. So when you go into a new relationship, you'll know how to communicate with that person effectively, because you'll know their communication style. Okay, so see this moment as exciting. You've let them go. You can have more time on your hands to perhaps learn about relationships, to learn more about dating if you want to get better at that. You now have more time to work on your projects, to work on your hobbies, to go and see your friends and your family. So see this as a new exciting time in your life, because it is. Don't worry about them anymore, right? Don't be sad and moping about them anymore, because they're gone, right? And if they come back, they come back. But if they don't, they don't. But the point is will you even want them back if they do ever come back? That's a good question to ask yourself. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.